Hello and welcome to episode 51 of our Timberborn Update 6 Waterbeavers playthrough, Cycle 57, Day 20. Got a little bit of a bad tide left here, and when we ended last episode, I was begging and pleading for this single pane of glass to be exported to the main district so that we could finally make some progress with our second mechanical farm. And as of now, it is still here. So what we can do is just to try and incentivize maybe a little bit more glass production, get that switched over. We don't have quartz in this district, but in our main one, if we take a look, we've got 912. So they'll export it. It'll be alright. Just gotta let them do what they're gonna do. I'm gonna close this so I can actually see more stuff. And again, we're just waiting on this one piece. But once we have that, we're going to have a hydroponic rice farm operating, which should help unclog a whole lot of our food problems. And then we'll be in a really, really good spot. We also need to talk about this. We've got our bad water source here. For some reason people are really, really, really excited about talking about that. I started building this basic nuclear reactor. We're waiting on more gears. And my original plan a long time ago was to put it here, which for some reason, I don't remember exactly why. This has been a very long playthrough, and this is a whole lot of stuff going on. But at some point, I decided I didn't want to put it here. But I guess it just makes sense for it to be here. I don't know. I feel like no matter where I put it, there's a compelling argument for basically anywhere else. But I also thought that this would be a good spot, because this is basically just always bad tide anyway. If we stopped this coming out, then this would be a whole lot cleaner a whole lot more of the time, and then only during bad tides this would be coming out this way. And plus, this is closer to our main power area. This here would still obviously work with all of these things versus putting this in here. I do think that putting it in here probably isn't or shouldn't be our first priority. So I suppose it makes more sense to just have it here and figure out some way to get power runs somewhere else. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is just placing this here, just so we can move on with our lives. I guess I can have the entrance on this back side here. Probably would be the easiest way to do it, unless, maybe it should be on this front side here. It'd be easier to get into at least. Yeah, because we can come over here, we can just demolish all this stuff and have a nice entrance here. Yeah. I'm just gonna do it. So that will go there. Ignore the clipping because it doesn't really, I guess it doesn't clip that bad. But I will just delete this. We'll get all the materials we put in back, don't worry. Then we just have to have everything picked up. So, fortunately, where we find ourselves down here is not going to really be possible for all these pieces to go into places that we can't access them. So that's taken care of there. That's taken care of there. We're not going to worry. We're just not going to worry about this. This just doesn't matter. So all of this can get picked up. They'll bring it all back over here. The reason that I would kind of wary of this is it is in this other district. But it doesn't have to be. Because remember, this is our district crossing here. It would not take me very long at all to just build a pathway coming over here. In fact, let's do that before I change my mind even more. If I take my double height platforms, you'll see that doesn't work there, and this has a problem connecting to everything. But don't forget, in the Waterbeavers mod, we have the ability to build bridges out of nothing. Well, technically. So I can put something like that right there. And then I believe I may be able to do a skewer platform. Yes, 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 yes. Just do one of those right there. Of course, it's not going to let me place it because this would, cross districts where districts are not meant to be crossed. So I think for the benefit of everything, I'm going to, I guess I just have to get rid of that. and then I can place these stairs here. So it's just going to be easier to do it that way. I know this is this other district here, but all these materials are already in this main district, and again, it's just easier. So, now that we've taken care of that, there's a couple other things. This pass-through lodge is completely unnecessary, as is the primitive dam. So that means we will have the ability to plant additional rice, which, if you've been keeping track, is absolutely desperately needed over here. So there you go. I don't think it's going to be a problem of this running out of water, at least not to the extent that it will kill rice, because we have paused almost all of these pumps in here. Well, okay, I've got 3 here and 1 here. And it's not going to be a problem on normal mode. It just isn't. So let's get this on triple speed. And then over here, the advanced sawmill, which is currently paused. Yes, I will have it make planks. It's fine. We'll be okay. Just there's a lot going through my mind when I'm playing this, and it's honestly too much, but we're too deep to quit now. So I do appreciate your patience with all of this other stuff. And this district has a water problem because, well, there's not really any storage. Oh, and now it's all gone. I'm pretty sure the only water storage we have is basically right here. We could really use a larger tank. And I probably should build one, honestly. But gears are a problem right now. So what I will do instead is just build another couple of medium tanks. And Cycle 58 is here, so we're not really going to have to worry about too much of that stuff for a while. This map was such a bad choice. But again, there's nothing I can do about it now. That's for mushrooms. Okay, we're not really producing mushrooms. I don't have space. I don't have places to put things, man. I'm gonna need to just, no, I don't need to have 2 of those there. I just need to have more space. So I'll just do that. I'll give them some more water. Take a look here. Our total storage capacity as of now is 345, which is very much not enough for 83 beavers during a drought, or a bad tide for that matter. So this will help. It's still not enough, but it will help make things just a little bit less terrible. So how are we looking on this mess? Okay, they're bringing the stuff over slowly. I know we still have a whole bunch of stuff sitting here down on the ground. They'll figure it out. We're not really rushing to get to anything. So this is making science points. We do need science to make a whole bunch of different stuff. We probably should start researching a couple more of these degrees. But for right now, things are looking just fine. Alright, so this is clear. Let's lower that so we can get more of our water in here. Let's lower this so we can get everything all taken care of. And let's raise this. Nice and clean. Yeah, so now, dies in 2.8 days. Not anymore. All taken care of. Dies in 5.2 days. Okay, well, not quite not anymore, but there you go. It'll get better as time goes by. It's just, you know, again, I hate to keep, like, making excuses about this is a bad map for this, but it really is. If you have not played Waterbeavers on this map, then I don't think there's any way you could possibly comprehend how this is as challenging as it is. But now we have our clockwork hydroponic rice farm ready to go. These do need to be prioritized, I feel like, to work properly, so that's taken care of. So now, as our rice slowly recovers, we should see a bunch of this food stuff get unclogged, so to speak, and we'll be in really, really good shape. So, referencing comments from last video, I did see a couple people make some comments that I do want to take a look at here. We have our cooking houses and our cooking tents. Someone had said were paused. It looks like these are good right now, but let's check our mechanical cooking houses. I think that might have been the ones that were ended up paused. Great English there on my part. No, those are all going. So I don't know. Not sure what they could have been talking about with that, because all of our food stuff is going as far as this is showing. Well, it's still good to check, so that's fine. We are still running into issues with this drying out, so Yes, I did put this primitive dam in here so that this could not pump this dry. But of course, like I said, we now have the problem of the water not getting into here. So because of the way this is set up, I don't know that the water level will actually ever be high enough to go over this. And if it is, it's also high enough to go over this. So because of that, I should have done this during a bad tide or a drought, but I think we want to replace these primitive dams with some levees and some terrain here. So in the meantime, I know this is maddening watching me go back and forth on this stuff. Sorry, it's just how it has to be. I'm going to take this one out because it's the easiest, cheapest, fastest solution for us to get water in here so these beavers don't, you know, die of thirst. I guess they could just drink their... Beavers don't drink strong alcohol. It's in the food. It's in the drink thing. I'm always going to see it as that, even if it doesn't actually happen. It counts as drinkable liquid, even if they don't drink it. Just, we all need to be on the same page there. So that's taken care of. That should be working nicely. How are we looking here? Okay, significant progress. Gears-wise, I did like the idea posed in the comments section, either last video or the one before. We could build a bunch of mechanics lodges, and when we have a drought or a bad tide, pause the pumps, and then that would end up being, I guess, slush space for all those extra beavers. I did make a comment saying that. Well, comment in the video, not a comment in the comments. That it was a big problem when you have a whole lot of extra housing, only part of the time, because then you have these crazy population swings, and then people are just like, well, why don't you just pause the pumps during bad tides or droughts? It's like, it's such an obvious solution, I can't believe I didn't think of it. But yeah, mechanics lodges are going... This is so huge on the middle of the screen. I'm just going to build a bunch of these somewhere, because we need to make more gears. Regardless, I just... Again, stop blaming the map. The map is just... It's not a good choice for this. It's a great map, but Waterbeavers is an entirely different beast, and it commands respect whether you want to give it to it or not. I guess I do need to go back there. 2 of these here should be fine. So those are automatically set to gears. Where else? I know I can put 1 here, but that's not really... It's not really exciting. Yeah, so 3 of those there. When they get around to it, should be fine, but I will just bump these up in priority. That'll be good. Alright. So that takes care of that, theoretically. There's still plenty of stuff to do. Obviously, fixing the food probably is going to be mostly automatic now that the rice is starting to improve. Obviously, it will take some time there. And science-wise, there are a couple more things we really wanted to unlock. Well, there's a whole bunch of stuff we need to unlock, because honestly, for episode 51, we're pretty far behind technology-wise. It's just... This has been a very, very challenging playthrough. I would love to build more of these clockwork hydroponic farms. We also have the Abyss exploration stuff. The Human Underground Factory Operating Team is such a great building that I've talked about it a couple of times before. But this would really speed up production of a whole lot of annoying things. And I'm pretty confident in saying that this would be the best thing we could unlock next. So that's what we're waiting on the 5,000 science for. It is a process. They are working on it. But the kimchi is just so slow. It's so slow. Which is why this is so great, because we don't have to have kimchi. We have all these other things that are also slow to make, but somehow a whole lot easier. So we can just let this be what it's going to be. And we can just move on from there. We do have an issue over here of not having enough giant sequoia logs. At some point, we'll be running through those like you would not believe. And we're just going to need more space. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to block these off. But there is, you know, there's compelling reasons to keep these here, including but not limited to, we still have to have bad water to do stuff. It just, I know. You're tired of hearing excuses. I get you. So, I do want to start disassembling some of this stuff. It's obviously not the highest priority, nor should it be. The assembly line, we had making wooden toys. We do have, or we did have, A whole lot of those. Yeah, I got almost 500 robot parts for right now. We should be okay. Yeah, I've got 86. Can't make shell necklaces until we have shells. Pencils were good. Metal fasteners were looking okay. Tools were looking fine. Recipe, fruit parfait, plural display name. There you go. We don't have all the fruits. So it's fine. In terms of well-being, though, we're still hovering around 20, which is pretty bad for what I would consider mid-late game. But again, it's Waterbeavers. It's brutally difficult. And we have just not had the resources to do... Like, a lot of these are imported. Pineapples, or as the entire rest of the world in non-English languages say, this. Bananas, coconut, foreign food, all imported on balloons, which we are not able to do satisfactorily because of just the mechanics of the districts. There's 2 different types of stew, I suppose. Deluxe... Can we even make deluxe stew anymore? That's... Okay, that's that. Alright. So we've got vegetable stew, mushroom stew. Okay, so I guess they're just missing the labels in there, but we're at some point going to be able to make all that. The social life stuff is just so hard to get because, again, this map has very little space for actually placing things that are not directly producing something. But I think we can get away with doing some rooftop terraces and observation decks. It's just that the construction requirements for those are very specific, and it's not really that easy to match up with that. We already talked about wooden toys. Those are looking really good. Comic books, if we could get paper production up, then those would be a lot easier. Again, stuff has just nowhere to go. Aesthetics are extremely hard with this because the beavers live absolutely everywhere. All of these things take a bunch of materials that I've never been able to spare. And then the fun stuff, again, for similar reasons, there's just nowhere to put anything. Up to a certain point. When we don't have to have farms covering half the map because we have more of these hydroponic clockwork things, it's going to be so much better. But as you know, it just takes time. Let's get... That's the wrong tab for that now. I forgot. Let's get another mega platform going here. We do have all of the pieces to build this. And now that I have these pillars set up correctly, I can very easily just pop that right there. Then we can decide what's going to go on top of this. Bottom one is making sunflowers. Despite this being empty constantly, I'm feeling pretty good about it because we do have a very full storage of sunflower oil. I think our immediate, most pressing need food-wise is still rice. So putting another one of these in should not be a huge ordeal. I just need to make sure. We need to make more of those screw press axles, which is why I'm trying to get to 5,000 science, because I can make those in that abyssal thing that takes so much less time. But for now, like I said, rice is going to be the way to go. So, since we are already here, let's just continue building this as it needs to get built. And then I've got to put in the ladders here. That goes that way, that way, that way. That gets connected that way. And we just move on from there. Because like there's just so much rice, and we still need more. It's until this is consistently displaying in the several hundreds all the time, with all of this going up, it's not enough. Green peas are being used to make fried rice. Like most of the stuff that we don't have a ton of is going into other things, so that's fine, but we do need to have more production of stuff like mushrooms, which, you know, the GMO growing lab can do if it has mushroom juice. But we've been so strapped for all these other things, I haven't had one of these screw presses making any. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start making some mushroom juice, because that's going to really supercharge our mushrooms here. And the berry situation is what the berry situation is. I'm just going to swap this over to mushrooms, try to juice our food numbers a little bit. We are going to build more of these, but we have to have more degrees to be able to do that, and until this makes me 5,000 science, I'm not changing anything. The good news is, we're almost there. Just a little bit more. In fact, just a single cycle of this will get us to exactly 5,000. And it's already at 60-some%. And there it is. There's our 5,000 science. So, Factory operating team. Research. Hide that so we can actually see and build this here. So this gas extractor is waiting on ruins exploration. This is waiting on, well, I guess technically, yeah, it's just waiting on paper. So let's check out what is consuming our paper. I have a decent idea, but it's always good to verify. Alright, so we have this making comic books. That's paused. We have, obviously, this elevator to the abyss consuming paper to do that. That's what we're trying to fix. And the Handicrafter's Lodge making dynamite does not need to be making dynamite anymore, but it also doesn't need to be making any of this, so let's hit the pause button on both of those for the time being. Pencil sets as well. That should help us out, because we do still have some stored. We just need to be better about managing our resources, which I know that's a rich coming from me. But the good news is we already have all our glass panes, and we've been making more, so that's fine. This is the right time to do this with the 1500 water because it's a temperate cycle. We're not worried about running out. Yeah, everything else, minus the logs, is looking good. How are things over here? Still good. That's a whole lot of stuff getting fired out. Yep, looking all right. Not really much room to complain here. 261 gears. We still don't have the PhD in nuclear physics. It's on the ground. But it also doesn't say it can't find the... Oh, it absolutely does. Man, you know what? I really shouldn't complain because this is such an amazing mod with all these crazy things that I have no idea how we got them to work. But it is very annoying to have to constantly babysit the scroll displays and all that. It is what it is. Again, I get it. This is just so many different levels of I can't believe this even works in the first place. So I'll just build this here just so it can be put in a decent spot. Alright. Bachelor's in Agronomy it is. We should be able to supply just about all of this with minimal problem. The sawdust, however, is going to be and continue to be an issue because we are just not producing enough. And part of that is because this is paused. Because I didn't want to chew through all my... Well, I guess it's not chewing because these are saw blades. I didn't want to go through all of this stuff really, really, really fast because we only have so many trees. And one of these giant logs only turns into 150 planks, and, you know, we already have sawmills. Granted, this is turning regular logs into planks in a very inefficient fashion. So if I pause that, and I pause that, that frees up a little bit more resources and allows this to do its thing with the planks. But for now, I'm going to leave everything paused. We have so many planks. We have almost 500. It should be okay for a little bit. And also, mushroom juice is a thing for the bachelors in agronomy, so we know we have to have that going anyway. I'm very curious, though. Okay, so we are, in fact, making mushrooms with this. We do have mushroom juice. This is the one that's doing it. And this has a storage of 200, so I don't need a tank exactly right now. But we're going to want to turn one of these into mushroom juice storage probably sooner rather than later. In fact, I should just build another one of these medium tanks right here. Just for mushroom juice. This is probably the best place for that to go. Out of everything else we could possibly be doing. So, that will get done at some point when it needs to get done. For now, I'm going to turn on the log gnawing stations just for or a couple of them, just for a minute, so that we can actually make some sawdust, because sawdust goes into everything. I don't think I have any of these set to fast mode anymore. I think I already took care of that a long time ago. Yeah, that's going to be good enough, just like that. Rice is still looking good. I know we have all of these terrain blocks. Got to be able to get more dirt, though. That comes from here. Which, this is actually full, so I don't know what they're complaining about. I remain thankful for the ability to pause the game and then cut out the sounds of me coughing and drinking water. But at any rate, we need to figure out a better way to get dirt between districts. And there's really no answer besides just employ a whole bunch of beavers in the district crossing, and it's maxed out. There's just so many things that I have to go through. And I know what you're going to say. There's at least some of you who are going to say, well, that's why you have the separate types of districts. But the problem with that is these districts don't all do just one thing. And again, if this was a map with a little bit better buildable area, then I'm sure we could easily switch things around. But this has grown so organically that it is... Oh, I don't know a way to reorganize all this without it just being an absolute cluster, you know what. It's just a lot. So I know it's got to be driving you guys absolutely insane, and I really appreciate that you haven't gone like nasty on me yet with the comments, but I really don't see another way to do it. Especially at this point, this far into it, it's just always going to be terrible no matter what. That's just the way it goes. You can kind of, you know, it's not cheating, but you can kind of game the system by building a large storage close to the other district and then just repathing it to go in the other one. The poor man's district crossing, if you will. And I don't really think that's against the spirit of the game, but it's definitely really, really annoying to try and figure out how that's all going to work. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have them clear out this entire plane here. On this entire level. Because, one, we really don't need to have all of these wild brambles because we're harvesting them here. This is a very inefficient use of space. We have all these builders that are going to be more than happy to come in here and do this. And it's going to mean that this wood-felling planification lodge does not need to be here anymore. Frees up some more jobs to go do other things. We just have to be able and willing to, you know, say, all right, we don't need this anymore. We're just going to move along and have them do literally anything else. And I'm sure these brambles are going to grow back again. But remember, when we have a drought or a bad tide, these won't grow during that time. And we'll be able to just zap it all out anyway. So that's going to keep these guys busy for a little bit. And it's fine if it grows back a little bit. But we just have to start that somewhere. This right here still does not have the PhD in nuclear physics because this has not been finished. So that's going to go there. This is waiting on nothing except for it to be finished. Well, I guess that's because I did tell them I wanted this to be removed. Yeah, that might have been a mistake. And by might have, I mean absolutely was a mistake. This now needs to be super prioritized. Let's get this on triple speed, have them come over here. But the main thing I wanted to do was to get enough of this cleared out that I could relatively easily... Yeah, see, there they go. There they go. Relatively easily come in here with a ladder and build some storage right here that we could then just kind of flick between districts. This is the district crossing, so I just have to connect to this set of paths here. We do have the gigargantuan storage for 500 science. We have all the materials to build it, well, except the glass, but we know how to make glass. And this is, as the name implies, absolutely massive, and it has a central core area. We don't quite have the space to build this, but I think this area right here would not be a terrible place for that to go. And I know it's this is one of those things where it's like, you know, you just have way too much going on. But it's, again, brambles. Look, Waterbeavers is hard. It's supposed to be hard. We just have to let it be what it's going to be. Now that this is super prioritized, they can come over here and build it. Well, one of them can at least. It's just a long process. I'm sure we have, yeah, we've got a decent crop of beavers over here. This is set up. We don't have to have this cleared to put a path in. That I do know, very well aware. But it makes it so much easier. So, but I can't place buildings though, without having good empty space accessible. And this is going to be the best spot for us to do that. All right, this That has not been marked for deletion. This is absolute priority. Come on. I clicked the wrong button. Good job, me. This single one right here is the biggest priority for them to get rid of so I can actually put in a large industrial pile. But they might not do it in time. Because I don't have anywhere I can stick this right now except right here. Once that is done. Well, I guess I could put it there. That's kind of anticlimactic, though, isn't it? Yeah, that's fine. Just having my beavers waste all of their time and energy doing this. Well, it's not a waste. It's not a waste if you learn something. There we go. Finally, that took 800 billion years. So now that can go there. This can go here. And I'm going to have this set to store dirt. Then I can have this actually go all the way to right here, and then I just have to swap where those things go. One little piece at a time. Just get all this stuff on this one level removed. Just have to be diligent about it. It does take some time. All right, so that's done. PhD in nuclear physics. Can't get requirement. Just pick it up off the ground. No storage space available. I know for a fact this is in the main district. Don't you give me that. Don't give me that. Is that talking about the treated planks? Someone said something about treated plank storage. There is no treated plank storage over here. It is instead over... Oh, probably all the way over here. Yes. And this is a good place for it to go. And I know there people were saying multiple things, multiple places. This will end up being the second one when we actually build it. But for right here is fine. This will be, I guess, the easiest thing to do. I'm sure there are going to be a bunch of you who say, no, this is wrong, do it somewhere else. Look, I can only do one thing at a time. We'll get there. I appreciate your patience. Okay, I got lost somehow. Alright, see now this is just so much more manageable like this. It's so much more manageable. Okay, so that's already full of dirt. Let's do this again. Oh, I guess I could have moved that over one. I'm not going to worry about it. So, dirt here, dirt here. I know we have big storage for dirt over here. And it's empty. But now that we have these here, they can fill it up, and then I can have that be set to the other district, and then it's just going to be that much easier for us to manage it. We have water storage here that's looking a whole lot better. I can't remember if I actually got to this in the discussion earlier in the episode, or if I just got completely distracted, but I was planning on putting one of these water cannons over here as well that could just shoot it across that other way, but for now, I guess we'll just leave it how it is and continue working on other things. It is just... It's a thing. I do have... Yeah, that is paused. That's good. I can never remember exactly what I've done over here. Well, this isn't connected. Oh, it's waiting on gears. Who would have thunk it? I was about to say this whole thing is done here. Drought approaching, 458 beavers should be fine with 18,000 water. Not going to get any longer than 9 days anyway. In fact, I almost have enough to do yet another one of these. And we still... Okay, well, this isn't operating, but I'd really love to have between 500 and 1,000 rice at basically all times, because our numbers here aren't looking, they're not looking great. But they are improving, and that is what matters. This is just waiting on gears. Did they ever build these? They did. Okay. Oh, there's no workers. Okay, well, you know what? That's on me. That's on me. I just gotta prioritize. We are just constantly understaffed at all times. That is the way of the Waterbeavers. You will never have it perfectly balanced. If you do, then I don't believe you. I'm sure there's somebody out there who's, I don't know, just unbelievably smart with this. to a level that I cannot ever be. And if that is you, I salute you and I respect your abilities. Oh, there's this one thing left here. Gotta get that out of there, or it's going to completely repopulate this entire thing. But now we have, you know, a little bit more usable space here. And these are both very full, which means I can disconnect that. And I can connect that there. And now, all of a sudden, this district has dirt. That should help us out just a bit. And I think, you know, it wouldn't be a bad idea for us to get this lowered here. This is a decontaminating irrigation lodge. So this would give us some more farm space as well. I just have to, you know, be careful about how much dynamite I'm using because I did pause the things that allow us to use that, or to produce that. And I can pretty easily just start out with something like this. This will, of course, get emptied out. They can build this from probably both districts the way this is set up. How are we looking here? Waiting on... Yep, sawdust. I knew it. Knew it. Only waiting on sawdust, and then they can take their time to, you know, take care of that. They still haven't done this. Of course not. That is waiting on Ruins Exploration. This is waiting on Ruins Exploration and Gears. Good to know. And this is waiting on... nothing. They're just slow. Once again, I do not have enough beavers, and I can't really... Oh, here we go again. Here we go again with this irrigation lodge thing. Oh, boy. So that's why I wanted to cut this off. It's just... oh, man, it's so irritating to keep up with this. The next time we play Waterbeavers, it will not be this map. It will not be a map that is even remotely this hard. Somehow I keep doing this to myself where I pick the hardest possible maps to play with Waterbeavers. But it's fine. It will be fine at the very least. Just have to figure out exactly what we're doing here. Alright, so that's ready to get exploded. B for boom. We are also pretty low on these green peas, so I figured it would be smart for us to just plant as many more of these as we can. I don't want to use too many more explosives now. Just have to make sure we... Oh, see, now these guys aren't even bothering to get this dirt out of here. Let's hit empty, just so that can get drained, so I can reconnect it to the correct side again. Yeah, just get that going there. Look at them go. Look at them go. They're doing it. They're making it happen. Still need more beavers. And that's with these all. Well, not all of them, but most of them unpaused. How are we looking here? Nobody's working there, but that's fine, except I need to have that prioritized, probably. Yeah, see, that's a problem. Jeez, there's just so much stuff. So much stuff. Oh, I don't have enough mushrooms to make mushroom juice, and now I don't have enough mushroom juice to make mushrooms. It's a vicious cycle of not having enough. That's the way it goes. Prioritize. Yeah, the rice numbers are starting to creep up, which, you know, that's good. That's what you want to see. Yeah, we have to have more rice for more rice balls. You know how it goes. We discussed this ad nauseum for the past 51 episodes. But I think it's slowly trending up. We are down to 185 planks, so I will turn this back on. There's nobody working here yet, but we will get that taken care of. We have 36 incapacitated beavers, which is what, 9%-ish. Still trying to get stuff set up for the treatment of the severe injuries and the major burns and all that. But the mild disease, minor burns, and just regular injuries, for this amount of beavers and the stuff that we're having them do, is honestly pretty good. It's just annoying to deal with. Alright, how else? How are we progressing here? Still need 106 gears. Still need 106 gears. We might not even finish this by the end of this episode, so I guess speak now or forever hold your peace about the basic nuclear reactor placement. If you like this, great. If you don't like it and you really want it to be here, Now's the time to tell me, because again, it's going to take them forever to get the whole thing taken care of. We can move it again. It's fine. I just thought this area over here would have been a great place for it, because that would connect pretty easily to this, which is going to have a tremendous power consumption. That also doesn't mean that over here would be a bad place. It's just we need to have more than one, and you know that it takes a long time. Somebody made a comment asking about the beaver isekai thing happening over here, where they swam too close to an oversized water pump and disappeared without a trace. Probably been summoned to be the hero of a fantastic other world. Keep getting pushed down that way. That is an Easter egg for the mechanized water pump. Just a random thing that can happen to beaver can just be absconded into the void because it gets sucked into the water pump. Alright, so we have a drought. That's up. That's up, and this is not changed by that. Wow, this dried up quick. That almost feels like that's way too fast. That's fine. Yeah, this is not happening today. There's just not enough gears anywhere for that. They did pick up everything but these 44 treated planks because I don't have anywhere for that to go. So, what I can do, since I know we're going to have one of these anyway, is I can just put in another basic nuclear reactor. I guess I'll have the stairs go that way. Should be fine. They can start building this. It's just a matter of what's going to get all of their priority for putting new materials in. So we can have both. It's just a matter of which one gets done first. It's going to be fine. So we have 6.5 days. I would really, really like to be in a better spot with food at this point, but we are making progress. So this is empty. Let's get that connected over here. Just set this to regular, and they'll get that filled up. 26 of these. There's everything. Everything is everything. Okay, that one was making that. I'm going to turn the dynamite production back on. We don't have a beaver to run it, but we can do what we can. Science is also slow, but you know how that goes. How are we looking here? One beaver doing all that. That's fine, I guess. 79, 79, 80, 71, 66, 88. We're going to have 90. We're going to have a whole bunch of these logs real quick in the next couple of days that we're not going to be able to do anything with. I don't have any storage for them. Well, I guess it's fine. We'll just let them do whatever they want to do that's really, really slow. Why did that move around? Oh, this lag doing that. Okay. Yeah, I made a big deal about it earlier, and I didn't do anything about it. The rooftop terraces, and then we have the exercise plaza. It's 5 by 5. Where am I supposed to put it? That's not just completely, hilariously out of the way. So much terraforming necessary. Just unbelievable quantities of terraforming. But yes, now is the time, folks. Now is the time to just get rid of these things once and for all, at least in areas that we can access. Because then, they can't grow back if they're gone. If everything is gone, they can't grow back. So this could be flattened for some recreation purposes. We already have dirt coming in and out this way. So what I will do is I will get this set up here. And I know we do need to do farming here. So that'll be a whole thing. Do stairs there. And then once they are finished with this, I'll do stairs here so they can get up to this and just completely get these things out of here forever. And then we can blow everything up. Just a very slow process. So we'll get some space back here. This is 5 tiles deep if we blew everything up, but I only have 26 explosives. And probably should be using that to make more food over here. Now we can unlock, if we want, a clockwork hydroponic farm for the green peas. But I think there's better things to do with the science than try to have everything be clockwork hydroponic farm stuff. At some point, we will get there. But, you know, the priority with the sunflowers and the rice, I feel like has been a good choice, even though we still aren't producing enough. Impossible standards and all that. So this is now done. And we will put in a staircase here so they can get up to all this. I don't think it's going to be a problem for them to access it. And at that point, I will be able to remove some of this. So that's already good. I was supposed to have them filling this in. Okay, that one did get finished. Very slow process, that. But I've got space for one more thing of rice. This red cabbage here is so these assistant farmers don't go completely insane. Yeah, see, I'm not a big fan of this. But it does allow me to do rooftop terraces. This does not have a recipe because I don't have anything to produce in here that I actually have resources for. So that's why that's the way that is, in case anyone was curious. This is out of power because why? I thought I had a... Ah! It's empty! And it... Oh, you know why? Because I have 3 of these. They each take 250 HP. Well, that's another good reason to have the basic nuclear reactor here. And it's up to 316 out of 400 gears, but we're not going to get to 400 in this episode. It's fine. Somehow I have 94 vacancies. Ugh. How? Yeah, I know I have all of these that are vacant that is artificially inflating that number. It just feels so high. Let's see, sawdust. I guess I probably should pause these. Just because that's, you know, jobs that we don't really have to have going. Because ideally, if this is going all the time, and we're making plenty of sawdust, and it does have good storage for that. It takes a whole day to cut planks out of this. And you get 380 sawdust out of it, but it takes an entire day, and that is, that's not one calendar day. That is 1 day of working hours. So, for our purposes, that's essentially going to be a day and a half. That is, that's just rough. And this is already getting pretty low on water here because this guy is pumping out. Which I guess is fine. It's just, it's nice if this stays consistently irrigated. Because as we have learned with these guys here, like, these are not really that reliable. There's just so many moving parts, so much stuff to do. 324, you know, we might actually, at this point, finish this. I don't know. I'm probably going to end this episode at the end of this drought anyway, so we may or may not get there. But this one here, oh, they can't even get to it. All right, well, that is squarely my fault. I know absolutely no one thought otherwise. Yeah, I just need them to be able to access this. I'm not going to put stairs down here because this is going to be bad water until this is finished. But they do have to actually be able to access this. And it is what it is. Scavenger flag, there is no more scavengering to scavenger here. Unless I built a thing there, but now we're making so much scrap metal, it's not a problem. That's the wrong button. That can stay there. How are we looking here? They got this completely cleared out. I want this to be 5 down so we can have all of this space. But a good start is going to be for us to just double down. Oh, man, you guys remember when KFC did that? And it's like, for those non-Americans, KFC released a sandwich, oh man, I don't know at this point, a decade ago, maybe a little more, that used 2 chicken patties, fried chicken patties, as buns, and they put cheese and some sort of sauce in the middle. It's like, this is like the most heart attack inducing thing that's ever been produced. It was, of course, glorious, but for obvious reasons, it was not a regular menu item. I don't know why the rest of the world gets so much better KFC than we have here. It's like my local KFC is like, you couldn't pay me to go there. But then apparently KFC has become so deified in Japan that they eat it on Christmas. And when, I forget which baseball team it was, but in their city, someone pushed a statue of Colonel Sanders into the river, and that team did not win some important game or some like number of games for a really long time. And it's like the curse of the Colonel or whatever. So if you have knowledge, I know there's a couple of you guys living in Japan that are almost certainly going to know what I'm talking about. So feel free to enlighten everyone in the comments if you feel inclined. But, alright, 3 days in the... I always have the weirdest tangents, side stories in these things. I just... I should have caught that we weren't making enough power here. Because I think, like, during the bad tides and the regular stuff, like, we're making enough power to run all this. There's 250 each, that's 750 here. These only take 50 HP, so this is another 150, so that's at 900. And then the assembly lines pause, so that's not an issue. I don't think there's anything else consuming power over here. At least not connected to this. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see. Oh, no, I know what it is. It's the bad water pump. And, well, that's only 50, so we have a draw of 950. This should be able to easily make that. These 4 right here. But once this is finished up, okay, this is definitely not getting done. Once this is finished up, then it's going to be more power than we're going to need for a really long time, and it's fine. Is this still looking okay? 2.5 days. Yeah, that's going to be fine. They can't really reach this because I have this in the way. So I will take those stairs out. That's easy to take care of here. I'll put singles here. This does get polluted up to about here when there is a bad tide, but that will not be a problem forever because we're going to at some point divert this. And it won't matter that we're going to lose out on all the power from the wheels because we're going to have nuclear power over here. Yeah. It just takes time, folks. We are... Oh, we're out. We're completely out of power? Well... Once again, it is entirely and exclusively my fault that this has occurred. It's dying in 8.1 days. We only have 2. It's fine. Everything is ground to a screeching halt. It is what it is. So, I'll tell you what. This is where we're going to have to end this episode because we can't do anything else without power. I do appreciate you guys watching this. I know it's really frustrating. I'm sorry, but there's only so much I can do. We have, I guess I shouldn't say we, I have dealt us a very, very, very poor hand with map selection and layout and stuff. And it, as simple as it might seem to just say, oh, just redo the path structure. Well, you kind of can't without taking everything out. And that just isn't possible with the Waterbeavers without spending, oh, I don't know, 50 hours just redoing everything. And because I don't edit these videos down into bite-sized 20-minute chunks based off of 10 hours of gameplay, that is just not happening. And I don't mean that in a mean way. That's just the realism of it. So, at any rate, the Beard Boosters make it possible for me to keep doing these videos every day, and I have gotten so much busier over the past couple of months. It's not even funny. But I remain committed to seeing this through to the end, and all of our other stuff we're doing as well. And those folks make it possible with their stability they add in terms of kind of smoothing out the highs and lows of the quote-unquote YouTube algorithm promoting me for different exposure things, and I can just focus on having fun playing the games. And I know having those folks in my corner to support the channel and make it possible to not have sponsors on these videos is just, it's really great, and I'm always going to be thankful for it. And of course, if you're part of that, then I'm very appreciative. If you're not, then I'm glad you're here as well. You never have to feel bad about not contributing to anything. I'm just glad you're here. So that's going to be it for today. Have a fantastic time, whatever it is you're doing. Stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you again soon for more beavers. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.